have started 28 years ago to provide after-school programs for kids. It's called After School All-Stars. Very successful program in 60 different cities. We are providing those programs for almost 100,000 kids. But now, because of the corona crisis, those kids have been sent home. So instead of providing after-school programs, we thought, wouldn't it be cool and great if we could provide food for those families? Our team that normally provides after-school programs would now be used for going out there and providing food for those families, delivering groceries and delivering gift cards for groceries.
I lived in a neighborhood with lots of kids around, and parents always seeming to be taking on that responsibility. But you know, cities around the country are growing in ways that we couldn't anticipate before, and those communities are getting lost. And so After School All-Stars fills a void for a child's life, for a family's life, but also for a community.
Some people may not realize that in San Antonio it's estimated that there are more than 30,000 young people between the ages of 16 and 24 that are not in school and do not have a job. They're just out there in the community. And so we need to make sure that we don't add to that population. One of the best ways to do that is through the After School All-Stars, to help kids with their tutoring, to learn more skills, to expose them to the arts. All of that will contribute to a positive experience for young people.
It's a dangerous time, say from roughly 3 o'clock to 5 or 6 o'clock. When a kid gets out of school, both parents are working. So when you have an after-school program, it's in a safe environment. It's really sort of an extended school day, and I think that's absolutely wonderful.
The kids who today show up in After School All-Stars have the potential to be the leaders of our city tomorrow. We don't know which ones of these kids will be the next astronaut or lawyer or business person. We don't know who they are. But every one of those kids deserves a shot to get out of school with a great education, of course, but also with access to mentors and adult role models that will really make a difference to them.
And that's what the All-Star program is all about, trying to show you how you can become a real wonderful individual and what it takes to be the person that you want to be, not somebody that someone else wants you to be.
I know I had a favorite teacher in the 3rd grade that helped me and supported me and answered my questions, and I'm sure that these students know that there are students, volunteers, there's teachers that help them and feel confident that they could succeed in school and accomplish their goals for the future.
The All-Star program is so important to our community. It helps those children that really need it. It's the at-risk children, and your funds is put to such good use, and it's for a lifetime. It changes lives, so it makes a difference.
So if we are let's say creating the leadership of the future, and we are looking at putting our dollars, I would say, put them here. It's investing in our future. It's really, investing in who these children can become because of what happens in these programs.
Oh, the children are safe to begin with. They're safe, and that's a parent's nightmare, that having to work late and the children, where are the children at home alone? It's a win-win situation. Everybody wins.
And these children are creating, they're enjoying, they're networking, and more importantly, they're learning life skills. If you want to invest in something, this is the program to invest in.
It gives them confidence, it helps with their self-esteem, it gives them purpose, it's a place for them to go after school and to be cared for in a loving environment. I just think it's one of the best organizations that you could give to.
I can't tell you how important it is for people to have mentors when they don't have the support they need at home. It only takes really one person taking an interest in you, caring about you, to make a tremendous difference in your life.
I would encourage support for After School All-Stars. It's a concept that works. There's a lot of talent been produced, sharpened, advanced because of After School All-Stars across the country. This is not an experiment. It's been in being now for almost 20 plus years. We in San Antonio need After School All-Stars. If it didn't exist, we'd have to invent it anew. But it does exist, and it's good, and it's available. It just needs our support.
John Montford here. We're now privileged to talk with our distinguished county judge, the Honorable Nelson Wolff. Nelson, I suppose you are the hallmark of public service. And just to review briefly your careers, I know you were a successful business person. You started your own business, successful at it. Decided to launch a career in public service. You served in the Texas House of Representatives. You were a member of the Texas Senate. You were mayor of San Antonio, and now you're a county judge of Bexar County. Significant public service career. Probably few, if any, people can match it. And as we visit today and talking about the purpose and the programs of After School All-Stars, really think it's an important opportunity for you to speak to young people and say, you know, those that might be considering a career in public service, what advice would you have for youngsters starting out today? Maybe not just those in After School All-Stars, but certainly collectively for young people who want to pursue a career in public service.
Well, the first thing I'd tell them is don't be scared of politics. You know, so many young people, they're warned, don't get near politicians, don't get involved in the controversies. If you want to make a difference in civic life, you have to participate. And I would say that one of the things you ought to do is get involved with some public office holder you feel that's doing a good job and volunteer to help him and learn what he's doing and try to get something worthwhile out of that. Public service is not easy. You know, you're a state senator and you were there for a long, long time. You were a former district attorney. We know it's not easy, but we also know you're the only ones that can make a significant difference in the lives of people. And that should be a motivating force. And if young people would realize that there's a lot of good benefits out of being a public servant and having the feeling that you're giving back and doing something. So I would encourage them to get involved early, you know, like I say, whatever it might be, and get a taste of it, and you might decide you want to be a public official, or you may decide you want to take the civic life and be involved in politics from that ground.
Well, you've obviously been successful at it. And that brings up a good point in terms of the, you know, you and the mayor have been on television literally nightly in terms of trying to get our arms around the challenges that this COVID-19 pandemic has brought. Tell us a little bit about how this pandemic has affected day-to-day life politically, socially, business-wise in our community.
Well, I always like to look at things in a positive way. While we've suffered some job loss, while we've suffered some terrible, terrible losses of lives because of COVID, we're also learning things. And I think we're learning how to respect each other better. The mask is not an indication you're just protecting yourself. It's an indication you have some respect for the person that you're around and you want to protect him. Keeping the social distance like we're doing here. We're respecting each other. So I think that's been a positive deal. I see more people out in the neighborhood. I never used to see anybody jogging and walking and sitting on their front porches. I think that's terrific. I think neighbors are finally getting to know neighbors. I think being at home more is leading maybe to a different type of life also. You may end up working at home permanently if you can do the internet connections and your job lends yourself to do that. I think that's going to make a change in how people get along. And of course, we know schools here will be starting on September the 8th. And we know the All-Stars play a really critical part in the aftercare of those kids. But now we've learned so much how to take care of each other when kids come to school. We may have some incidents, I'm sure we will, but I think we understand now how to handle it and how to come to school and how to protect each other. So I think we're going to learn a lot of respect for each other because we've gone through this, and we will get through it. We're on the right track now. Numbers are continuing to go down. We just have to be vigilant and make sure we all take care of each other by doing the things, sanitation, face masks, keeping social distance. I think we're going to learn a lot of lessons out of this.
Well, by the way, I have my mask here. We had to remove it for the interview. You know, if you're a youngster out there And certainly After School All-Stars tries to get kids to have ambition, self-esteem, develop self-confidence. As you look back on your careers, the many, I suppose, like anybody in politics, you have your ups and downs and you have your challenges. It's pretty easy to get discouraged these days.
Well, the best thing for you to do is lose. It really is. I lost 2 congressional races. I may have won all these others, but I also lost 2. I learned more losing than I did winning. So you should never be afraid to lose. If you don't lose, that means you're not taking the chance. That means you're not moving forward. That means you haven't really grasped life. So don't be afraid of losing. And you'll learn a lot from it, and I think I did.
Good advice, and thank you, County Judge Nelson Wolff.
Enjoy it, John.